to lesson 3 of our Python series. Today, we will learn how to get input from a user, how to display output, and we will build a simple calculator that adds two numbers. Let's begin. What is an input? Input means information your user types into the program. Python has a built-in function called input that allows us to ask the user a question. If you have, let me start by creating another file called lesson 3. Yes, as I said, Python has a built-in function called input. Input. This input allows us to ask user a question. For example, if I do this, name equals input what is your name? What is your name? This we ask from our terminal. This we ask the user to type in their name. Then we can now take the name. We have already assigned the typing value that the user typed in to a variable called name. We can now print the name to the user. Hello, name. Let's run this program. As you can see, in our terminal, we have what is your name. So, for example, if I type in my name and click enter, so it's going to tell me hello brainwave, which we have on our screen. So that's the usefulness of input in Python. And as you can see, as I said, the input became variable because we've already assigned it to a variable called name. Then we are able to use it as we want. I can use the variable again, like print how are you doing today? Then how are you doing today? If I run this again, sorry, if I run this again, I'm going to have, let me enter my name, brainwave, enter. You can see, hello brainwave, how are you doing today, brainwave? That's a nice output. So there is also an important aspect to note. It is very, very important. Whatever user type in always is string, always becomes string, as we explained in our last lesson, lesson 2. We explained data type and how to check what data type we are receiving from the user. Let's check this. Let's try this. If we have age, for example, age was input. Let's ask the user to type in their age. Then we print the age by checking the data type. Age, type of age. Okay, let's comment out our first program so that we can go direct to what we're trying to get. So if I comment out the first programs we run so that we can have enter your age. If I'm 20 years old, you are going to see enter your age, I enter 20, then we confirm that every input that comes from user always become string in Python. So we check the age. As you can see, the user types in, I typed in 20, which is an integer. But when we check the type of data we are receiving, it becomes string. So this is very important because if you are doing a calculation, you cannot do a calculation with a string. So you have to force what you are receiving from user to be an integer or whatever data type you want to use. For example, if you want to use number for math, you must convert the input from user to integer so that it will be able to work in our math program. If I can do things like this, I have to comment it out so that it will run before our next program. Age equals input. No, we have to convert it to an integer. So input your enter your age. As you can see, this automatically force the user input to be an integer. We can also convert our user input to what? To float. For example, we can do height equals float, force it to be float. Input, enter your height. This will force the user input to be what? To be float. Let's run this program. What is your age? Enter your age. I say 20. Enter your height. I say 5.9. So I'm going to, now let's print our value. Print age and check the type. Print height and check the type. Let's run our program again. Enter your age. 20, height 5.9. As you can see, we printed the 20, which is an integer because we have already forced it to be integer. And 5.9, which is the height, is float because we have already forced it to be what? To be float. It looks simple, right? Now we are going to use this simple knowledge to build a simple addition calculator. Now let's build our simple addition calculator. So I'm commenting this out. Let's have number, okay, number one. As I said earlier in our previous lesson, you can name your variables what you like. Just make sure it makes sense to you whenever you open your code. You know from your variable what this variable is. Enter first number. We are going to collect numbers from users. You see, number 2, float. enter second number. So we are going to collect these two numbers from user and assign it to a variable called result. So our num1, sorry, let's be consistent. Should be this. Our num1 plus our num2. And you see, so if we print this, we are using f string to print this. We have f string name num1 plus num2 equals to the result. You have your calculator. Let's run our program. Enter first num. Let's say 5. Then enter the second number. Let's say 6. Then print out your result to be 11. You should note that we have a float response here because what? We force our input from user to be float. If I don't want this decimal places, I can as well force it to be a whole number, which is integer. If I run the program again, 5, 6, we have our integer. So it depends on what you want to do with the number. For example, if you are calculating money, that is going to be float. But if you want to see a whole number, you have to force it to an integer. So that's your simple addition calculator. So what you are going to do for me now is write your own program that add two numbers together and print the result to be in a form like this. The sum of 5 and 7 is 12. You can use any number, you can enter any number, but I want you to write your own program, your own code under the comment section that says enter your first number, enter your second number, and you add it and you print it out to be the sum of 5 and 7 is 12. Something like that. It can be the sum of 10 and 20 is 30 something. Great job so far. You now know how to take user input and use it in programs. So in the next lesson, we will learn loops and conditional statements, which allow our program to make decisions and repeat actions. I will see you in lesson 4. Thank you.